Mr. McNich.
Or MacNish.
MacNish. So,
Whatever you want to call me.
let's start in the most obvious of places. How many times do you have to win Le Mans for people to figure out how to spell your damn name?
2, but apparently the third time they forget. It was quite funny that we were doing the handprints in the centre of the town, the ceremonial unveiling of your handprints and signatures in bronze, and we quickly did the handprint because it was about to rain, and Tom and I are opposite each other, and as we lifted our hands up, we both looked at the way my name's been spelt, which obviously is pretty tricky, and we just looked up at each other and we instantly knew, and we both burst out laughing, where unfortunately I'd been sort of slightly misspelt, but funnily enough differently to the other 2 times. And so every time that in fact I think I've only won Le Mans once, but it's been my sort of cousins or brothers or something that's won it on other occasions.
The ones living over hill and dale. You and I have done this every year for many years, talking about the race, your plans. Different in that 2 of my favorite drivers, yourself, Dario as well, have transitioned into post-driving careers this season, I think in fairly similar roles. Tell me how you are working within the team to not only impart your knowledge, but I guess help enrich the competitive effort without actually chasing down mad other drivers and other marks.
First thing is that I can eat all the desserts and I take it away from them, because that responsibility has got to fall on someone, and it's fantastic desserts over there, so I take away that pressure. And Tom was obviously he was a big lover of desserts. It's actually on many levels the way that it's working at the moment. I'm an ambassador for the brand, so there's marketing and PR and things, but also Dr. Ulrich was keen that we kept the relationship, and also the experience that we've built up together, but also I've built up over my racing career. It's been 32 years, and so this particular weekend, and also at the Spa race and also the test day, he asked if I would maybe keep a little bit of an eye in car number 3, principally because it's the least experienced in terms of the driving crew together. This is the first time they've all been together as race day. The other thing is, from an engineering point of view, they're the least experienced as well. And it's more a case of just trying to make sure that they don't get caught up in the traps of Le Mans that I've got caught up in, we've all got caught up in at one point or another, trying to avoid that a little bit. It's not necessarily about how to drive a car, crikey, because they all know how to do that. Marco was the quickest of the Audis, Bononomi we're talking about, he's the quickest of the Audis at the pre-test, so I think he was pretty much up to speed. Jarvis has been on the podium here with him before, and Felipe's proven his worth by winning the ELMS round in Imola just a couple of weeks ago. And so on that side of it, it's not about driving, it's more a case of just being there in a little ear and also a little bit of a sort of support to them as the race progresses. But I've got busy other things with the other side, because of marketing, obviously like to get their tuppenies worth, as they do. Press, media and people like you.
Rank bastards.
Yeah, I can only agree. And as well as the Grand Marshal this weekend, I have got a few little additions to my itinerary there, which is pretty cool.
From a practical standpoint, I guess on the same theme, I'll see Dario out standing in corners, observing. See him sitting in the engineering meetings on the timing stand, really headset on, fully engaged. From the imparting wisdom, knowledge, and thought standpoint, are you taking it to that level in this role as well? Again, I know you have many other things to do, but when cars are on track, where's Allan McNish? What is he doing?
Not to the extent. I do think going out and standing on the corner is old school, and I do think it's critical and it's really important, and I think it's so easily forgotten nowadays. At the end of the day, from your engineering history and background, that I think is a big factor. You used to sort of see it, feel it, touch it. Now everybody's sitting, staring at computer screens, and kind of lose a little bit of that touch. And at the Montreal Grand Prix for the first practice session. I stood at the entry to the final chicane, and you saw massively the difference between all of the cars going through there, especially the front-running cars. Some of them had a really good positive front end but couldn't touch the curb. Some could run straight over the curb with half a car but couldn't get on the power because it had no grip when it landed and it bounced. And other ones could, well, you know which ones we're talking about. They could run it and get on the throttle. But if you looked at it on camera, or if you tried to look at it in data, you didn't get a feel. So I do think that's an important thing. But in this side of it, I'm pretty much hot-footing between the garage. I'm listening on the radio to all of the cars, actually, not just to one, and getting a little bit of a feel, because I pick up different things, and Dario is exactly the same. We pick up totally different things than the engineers. To some extent, it's the tone that the driver's talking about, or the infuriation he has about something or other. It might hear it's quite often traffic if he's on a quali lap. And you can relate to that because I've been sitting in that exact situation, and you're coming to Porsche and it's been a stonking lap up till now, and you see that car just going through the first part, and you know you're going to get him at the long right into the left of karting, and you know that lap time's gone, 1.5 seconds, gone. But you've done 3 minutes to get to that point. And there's elements of these things that I think, as well with what they're talking about the car, you can help with a little bit of translation, because engineers work in numbers, drivers work in feelings, and there's a common language between the two, and it's not often that common language is easily understood.
Allan McNish, feeling engineer. I like that. That's a new title for him.